Um,
So you guys have to tell me all about what I missed. I missed the second meeting of Vampire Movie Club on
yeah, we were
Monday
talking
night.
about that. We're like, this is what it was. It was me, Ronald, Pierre, and Lauren, and it was like John's. He missed this meeting, but
We
we have to
coming in
call.
hot with this. You
We
sure you don't want
have
to
to
talk about
call it to
warfare
order though.
first?
Yeah.
What's that?
You sure you don't want to talk about warfare first? Because this is
I think I'm dying to know. I'm dying to know because
okay. Okay.
I've seen nothing but raves, and so I'm sort of I'm expecting you guys to have
Yeah.
positive things to say about this movie. But I'm also like any movie that you hear that about, you're wondering about like the
Yeah.
ways it's going to get you there. And so I'm very curious to
Yeah.
know what you guys think, if in fact you think it got you there. So yeah, open it up about Sinners, the new Ryan Coogler film. That the coolest thing about it is that the days leading up to this, there was huge internet fervor over a clip of a guy talking about formats and
Yes.
aspect ratios, and
Yeah.
I thought that was great. That was
Yeah.
I loved that little whatever that news cycle was where people were talking about excitedly about
Yeah.
formats.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ryan Coogler, a filmmaker who we were, we I think he's one of our guys, right? Like we talk every time we talk
Definitely.
about
Yeah.
him,
Yeah.
we kind of speak about him in those tones.
Um, masterpiece.
Yeah.
Really
It was a fucking masterpiece. I don't.
awesome.
I think it really is. It's hard to put into words, honestly, because it's so many things. Uh, this feels like his most personal movie he's ever done. It feels like he put his soul into this. It's like pieces of ideas that, he's like it's obviously an homage to blues and black culture, but there's a lot of love for like the Asian community and the Irish experience in
Experience. Yeah.
America. There's a ton that he's doing to draw parallels between all these cultures on top of just celebrating these amazing roots of music and love and resilience and all these things that came together. And he uses film in a way that just feels like spiritual almost. You know what I mean? It feels like a meditation almost. It feels like I'm 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 watching a master at play. Like I'm watching, even just the first shot that, we you kind of see in the commercial with the twins smoking stack right beside each other, talking, kind of putting a cigarette between each other. The camera's rotating and showing this shot, and it's kind of the beginning of him showing off. He's like, "Look, this is
Yeah.
the
It's a
beginning.
flex. It's a
This,
flex pretty
yeah,
early.
this
Yeah.
is the beginning of many shots that you're gonna see. If you think this is impressive, you're gonna see 50 more shots that exceed this, which is crazy to think about. It just keeps escalating and escalating and escalating, and it typically isn't even in an action setting. It's just to transition to another shot. It's just the things that he's doing and the sound. The sound is unreal. If you could see it in a Dolby theater or see it in
IMAX.
the
We saw it in
IMAX.
IMAX.
Yeah, so see it how however you can see it, but see it in an IMAX theater if you can. If you can't see it in a Dolby, if you can't, see it in a, see it how you can. But it is a beautiful movie that you should hear as well as see. So that's my initial thoughts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, when you were talking, John, about like just the raves about it, I feel like this is one of those situations where I think that's just going to be what it is, honestly.
Mhm.
Like, I think this is no question for me his best film, and this is a filmmaker that we've all shown a lot
Yeah.
of love towards. That he's made some incredible movies. Fruitvale, Creed, Black Panther, even Wakanda Forever, like all very good to great, mostly
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
But this is no question. This is like a different, honestly, like this feels like such a home run to me that I was telling Ronald and everybody after the screening, I was like, I don't know that I've seen a better movie in a long time. Like I don't want to I'm trying to refrain from too much hyperbole, but like I had so much fun watching this movie, and I've had a lot of fun watching movies with both of you in theaters.
Mm,
And it's in the conversations of like just a great experience watching a movie that is a crowd pleaser, that is saying so much about, historical experiences, cultural experiences, and just has so much creativity in the way that it's saying it. The idea of setting it where it's set, when it's set, adding vampires, adding an amazing score, a great soundtrack. Like there's really great songs in the movie. Like it's not a musical, but it is sort of a musical,
yeah,
you know. Um it really does this magical thing of kind of keeping you off balance enough with all of the elements that I just said, that when things happen, the experience of watching it happen is like never tiring. It's never predictable. You might know beats that you think are going down or coming up, but like there really is just a magical thing happening with the movie that, it's kind of like, you know, listening, I've been like devouring everything that he's done recently talking about this movie, specifically Ryan, but like, Dust Till Dawn, people talk like Hateful Eight, people even like The Faculty, like Robert Rodriguez, The Faculty. Like all these movies are clear, and he's even acknowledged influences. Puss in Boots, we talked
Puss in
about after the
Boots.
screening, like the inspiration, the death character from that, for Remick and the vampires. It's just I can't wait to see it again, and it's just one of those things where I don't know. I really, there's a lot of movies I'm looking forward to seeing this year. This was on the top of my list. Maybe like one or two other were right there with it. But I'd be shocked if I see a better movie this year. Knowing my sensibilities, what I like in movies, and
Mm-hmm.
to Ronald's comment about like just the skill and like there, Ryan Coogler is like one of the best filmmakers out there right now. Like what he's doing, who he's doing it with, the below the line skill that is at play on this film is just amazing. Um and yeah, man, like I love this film so much. Like I got
Yeah,
home and told Aaron, I was like, I literally felt like I was floating a little bit walking out of the theater. Like it was just a wild. People were cheering during the movie. People were cheering at the end of the movie, laughing, jumping, gasping. It's just, man, he knocked it out of the park. I don't know. I don't want to ramble, but I really, really hope this movie overperforms
yeah.
and like it's just like yeah, this is an original thing.
I
This is a real creative, bold swing, and it doesn't feel indulgent. It doesn't feel like anything like that. That some of, I think that adjective gets bunched into some of these big swing movies.
yeah,
Um, like too personal or too much of a this is all for me. Like everything that he speaks about is so clear that he's trying to like make a movie that's relatable to anybody that wants to watch his films in whatever way you can get into his movie. And there's so many entry points to enjoying this film. Um,
yeah. I
man,
was gonna say, well, there's a couple things I love about Ryan Coogler. I love his passion for movies, and I love that he doesn't code switch. And there's something
right?
about a person who doesn't compromise in their language at any point that really speaks to how he tells his story. It's a very clear, he's trying to tell a very specific story. And what that tells you about our stories is that they're universal. You know what I mean? Like, I think that people kind of feel like black stories are black stories, white stories are white stories. And this is proof that you can tell a story that's so specific, that's so about the suffering of black folks and the triumphs and everything, that is so fucking universal. And the parts that he doesn't know about, he researched. So
Yeah.
this he has a friend, I actually follow her on Instagram. He didn't really know about the Asian American experience. First generation Asian Americans. So he talked to somebody. He got information. He didn't know how twins work. So he talked to a couple twins that he grew up with in Oakland. It's like this like cool thing where you never hear about people that didn't know about something doing research on this level. You know what I mean? He was an expert at quite a few things in this movie, and everything else that he didn't, he researched, and it just shows. It's just a mastery of the craft, and I think that what needs to start happening is give him more money. Give him more money to make more things and tell more stories. And Ludwig, man, can we talk about Ludwig Göransson? And uh I know him from Childish Gambino stuff. I mean, that's how I know him at first. But he has become an amazing composer. There's a part that you must see in the movies where there's the first time we hear Preacher Boy play music. This scene,
Don't
John,
spoil it.
this scene
Yeah.
is sound wise insane. So
Yeah.
much is happening in your ears that you might faint. I'm glad.
Honestly, I felt like that scene is almost like a reveal. Like I feel like what that scene does, and again, we're not going to spoil anything. I feel like the marketing not having anything to do with that. There may be clips from it, like because
Yeah,
it's like a dancing sequence, but like I think the approach of how the movie starts and the voiceover in that scene, the way they just drip out the next line of dialogue and then it happens,
yeah,
it was amazing. Like
yeah,
it felt like a reveal. It felt like not a twist, but like a reveal of
yeah,
like, oh shit, like that's what's happening right here, or
yeah,
that's where we're going right now.
yeah, yeah,
Um, Amazing cast. Like the performances are all just so great. Michael B. Jordan, love the dude. This is probably his best performance. I mean, and he's been in some great stuff, man.
yeah,
But he's got some incredible scenes in here. Um, yeah, I don't know, just excuse me, just up and down. Miles Caton, who's like it's his feature film debut. He's Sammy. He's the preacher boy. He's the basic, I guess, co-leads of the film. He's great. Jack O'Connell as Remick is great, like the lead vampire.
yeah, yeah. Delroy Lindo.
Delroy Lindo, Haley
Oh,
Steinfeld.
oh
Uh,
man.
I was
And
looking up. I was looking up the girl who played Perlene, who was great, Jamie Lawson. She's from Baltimore. I
she's
didn't
from
realize that.
Baltimore.
Yeah, Jamie Lawson from Baltimore. She's been in like a lot of big stuff.
Yeah, she
But
is
I
gorgeous.
recognized her from The Woman King. I was like, where do I know her from? And she's in that movie, The Woman King, with Viola Davis.
Yeah. Oh wow.
But yeah, just John, you're gonna blow your mind. It's gonna blow your mind, dude. Like you're gonna love this movie so much.
I mean, obviously, I can't say anything except, oh, it sounds like you're right. I probably will. But like the one thing I haven't heard you talk much about is the sort of genre side of it. So how does this work as a vampire movie, a horror film? Like what put
Well,
it in the put it in the neighborhood of what kind of horror, or like is it sort of action horror? Is it like under siege kind of horror? It's hard for me to tell.
So I named three movies. I said
Oh yeah, you did.
Hateful Eight,
Okay.
From Dusk
From
Till
Dusk Till
Dawn,
Dawn.
and The Faculty were the ones.
Okay.
The
I want to
Faculty
throw,
is something he mentioned a lot in his interviews recently.
I want to throw one more in there. Harlem Nights.
Okay. All right.
Kind of
Sure.
feels like that
The
too.
crime element
Yeah, the
of
crime
it.
element.
Yeah.
So
of
there's a
it.
mullet in there somewhere, a giant.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, it's oh
Yeah,
man.
those are great reference points. Yeah, you got
Yeah.
like
Okay, you did mention those. I wasn't just
one
thinking about those
location
as genres.
siege. Yeah, like you got
Yeah.
like the one location, we've got to survive the night kind of vibe. You've got the first act or so is like getting the band together, getting the
Yeah.
group together. Let's assemble, who's gonna survive, or who's gonna try to survive the night. But I mean, it moves quick, dude. The pacing is really great. And a lot of that goes to just like, the really cool, approach to having Michael B. Jordan have, that these are twins, that we are with these characters for the better part of the beginning of the film, but when they break off and they're doing their respective tasks to get everything ready for this big, this opening of this joke that they're opened, that they're buying and opening themselves. But like, and you get to follow one of them doing one thing and one of them doing the other. So it moves around like really quick.
Yeah.
And you get introduced to a lot of characters, and yeah, it just all works, man. And you really do. connect with them and, want to see what happens next for them. But yeah, I mean, again, Ronald, watch Ryan's video, the Kodak series video that he released about the formats. If you're by a format or can access a format, if you want that theatrical experience, whether it's IMAX, Dolby, all the different ones he kind of goes through in that video, I would just, you definitely benefit from the best presentation you can find because they did make a really impressive technical film.
Yeah.
A first time ever type of film in terms of combining two really challenging formats, and seeing those format shifts in the IMAX was really amazing. But yeah, I really am hoping that this movie overperforms. Like, it was not an insanely expensive movie, but probably too expensive for a kind of film it is.
Mm.
How much did it cost? Do you know?
The report is 90 million.
Okay.
Oh,
So, again, but yeah, we say that and you're like, okay, yeah, that's like not the 150, 200 that we hear about every other weekend. But also it's like you don't want that number too against a filmmaker that you want to win, because like that number is like some people get set up to fail, when that number gets out of control.
Yes.
So, they're projecting 40 to 50. I hope they're being conservative because I think it needs to get a little past that.
Somehow I feel like this movie, just with the way that, I mean, again, it's deceptive, but the way that this movie has been hyped and the types of movies that hit at least that 100, 150, 200 million domestic or something, I feel like this feels like, I mean, you're talking about a movie that people are getting excited about, Steve, and your excitement about this movie to me speaks to the level of like, not that you're our barometer of like mass appreciation, but when you're talking the way you're talking about this movie, and it's got this hype behind it, it makes me feel like this is the kind of movie that people want to be excited about, because it is original, but it's also a vampire thing. It's
Genre,
also like
yeah.
there's it's genre, it's tentpole, it's got all these different things. It's
really
also
does.
like it's also like a test of that Ryan Coogler being in that directors with a name that brings you to the theater thing.
Yeah.
It's
Could
also
be.
a test of Michael B. Jordan as the kind of leading man that can bring people out to see a movie. We talk about how we don't have stars that headline movies anymore. So there is something about this movie that feels like it's a classic. The movie I keep thinking of in tandem with it, which is not related to it in any way, except for the ways I just said, is that like the way that I felt when I watched the Mission Impossible trailer, and I was like, oh, this looks like it could be a huge crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
That's the way I felt when I saw the Sinners trailer. Was this looks like it could be a huge crowd pleaser. I could just picture audiences getting into this. It feels you kind of indicated, Steve, like down the middle enough to hit everybody, but also interesting and esoteric enough to bring some things in. And Ronald, I think that I love that. I love hearing. I want to catch some of these stories about Coogler's process too. I don't even know if it's that rare for a director to do the kind of research you indicated. What I think is rare is for a director to do that kind of research and make it part of something that feels so fully human. And, that doesn't feel like you're watching a history lesson. You know what I mean? It's one thing to do the research. It's another thing to embed it into a story that gets people excited. So, I mean, again, I think you guys are giving me a little bit of a contact buzz about this movie, but I promise I'll try to have a real opinion of it when I come back next week, because I'm definitely going to see it as soon as I can.
Yeah, man. See it, John, as soon as you can.
This might be a whole family one. This might be one that like Nikki and
It
Henry
really can be.
It's a crowd pleaser, man.
It's a fun movie to watch, man.
The crowd was going crazy. Like Ryan paced these beats out for people to scream at the screen. You know what I mean? Like it's it's a lot of like
really good scene, like good scares.
yeah. So many
and for a frame of reference too, John, like the advanced screenings that we're able to attend, thankfully, like to be able to review these movies, they're not always very crowded. They're not always very packed, press, in terms of turnout. But I mean, this screening was, I don't know if they turned people away, but it was full. I mean, it was a full house. And like Ronald and I didn't even get to sit together. It was so packed.
Yeah.
Like it was very crowded. And and like just everyone walking out of that theater was just completely buzzing from this movie. And
so was Lauren sitting with you?
Yeah, with me.
So she could report when you were rocking back and forth in your seat.
Oh, she could definitely report like when I sit up and like put my elbows on my knees and like, I had moments where I'm like, oh my God, they're really doing that. Oh my God. Yeah, no,
she
there
was
at least
cracking
2 or
me
3
up,
of those.
man. After the movie, I really like when we go see movies with Lauren. She makes me super happy. She's funny as shit.
Well, especially when it's a vampire movie, she can just remind you how badly she just wants to be a vampire.
Yes.
She's like, just bite me, okay? I mean, just ask me once.
Or a
I remember
TikToker.
after
Yeah.
Nosferatu, she felt sort of like outside of that vampire experience. Like that's not her vampire. That was not a sexy vampire.
Not
how
my
did she feel?
vampire.
Is she back to wanting to be a vampire?
Oh,
After
this is
Sinners?
absolutely her vampire. She was like, yeah, I mean, I don't see the problem here.
Yeah.
I don't see the problem here.
Oh my god.
And I will say, I mean, again, we're gonna not spoil anything, but only one thing I want to make sure anybody listening knows, or that you know, John, is to make sure you stay for the credits.
Oh, cool.
Please stay.
So I can find out who the assistant grip was.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's very you want to know that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I used to stay through the credits because I'm a big nerd. And now I stay through the credits, and even if it's a movie that I don't expect to have a post-credit scene, I make the joke in my head of what if this movie had a post-credit scene, like where Sam Jackson walks out and says, you know, we want you to join the Sinners Initiative or whatever. So it's like, but I used to be just, I would stick around, or I'd be sticking around often to find the name of a song or something. I would watch the credits of a movie.